Coast Miwok Indians have occupied the lands throughout Marin, Marshall, Tomales, Petaluma, and Bodega since time immemorial. Their deep understanding of the ecosystems and landscape allowed for them to thrive in these areas before Western contact, living off the abundance of resources, traveling the bay and celebrating the land through ceremony. Village sites have been identified and are continually discovered throughout these areas. The Coast Miwok are known for their skills in basketry, flint knapping, clamshell beading, cordage making, fishing, and tending to their ancestral landscape. They continue to practice these skills and share their traditions among their tribal communities. Victoria Canby, a citizen of the Navajo Nation and Executive Director of the Museum of the American Indian, discusses the museum's history, resources, and its vital role in preserving Coast Miwok Indian culture. Through educational programs, school tours, exhibits, lectures, classes, workshops, and events, the museum enhances Native visibility in the region.
Hi, my name is Victoria Canby, and I'm the Executive Director here at the Museum of the American Indian in Miwok Park in Novato, California. And we are here on Coast Miwok tribal lands, and my tribal affiliation is Diné, or Navajo. And I grew up here in Marin County on Coast Miwok lands. So the Museum of the American Indian has been here since the late 60s, developed after a village site was found here while the park was being excavated for a housing development. And when the space was being tilled by machinery, they found all of these items, cultural items in the ground. A local high school group actually stopped the dig and came in to intervene and started to do their own dig and keep records of what was found. And eventually the city of Novato agreed to work with the students, and they brought the building that is now the museum here. It was purchased for $1 from the city and then brought to this area in the park. And then this was set up as a repository for the items that were found in the park. We work on creating educational programming, and we do school tours. We have culturally sensitive exhibits that rotate through the museum. We also offer lectures, classes, workshops. We open our space as a resource to other Indigenous groups in the area to be able to host their own events and collaborate them so that we can really increase Native visibility in Marin County. And we are also working on creating programming that is going to offer support for local teachers, as well as create an educational library, open up our collections to use for students and academics, increase our website educational programming so that teachers from all over the country will have access to culturally sensitive and current information, specifically about the Coast Miwok peoples and also other tribes in the Bay Area. And here at the museum is, as our goal of being a cultural center, is also to open up our doors to all tribes, but specifically California Indigenous communities. So we are inviting the Coast Miwok Tribal Council and the Federated Indians of Great and Rancheria to be a part of our programming and to engage in our museum in ways that that the representation is accurate and sensitively done. And I think that's a very important part of the shift that's also been happening here at the museum. And it should be, happening everywhere, is that Indigenous voices needs the people who are being represented should be the ones guiding how they are being represented and spoken for, So it's really, I feel honored to be here, but I take my role very seriously and humbly. And, California Indian people are remarkable, resilient people who have, endured a lot. And sometimes when we're, teaching in this realm, we're also realizing that some of the hardest stories come out of California's history in terms of Indigenous history. And I think that's really important to remember because it's such a beautiful place. Sometimes we forget that when we're walking around. but it's really good to remember that. And that's also one of the reasons why we definitely encourage communities to work on their land acknowledgements, and we've been working with a lot of local organizations on getting their land acknowledgements in place. So yes, please come by the museum, and Indigenous communities, please check us out, come join us, and we're here for you.